Kane Zera is racist, Inspire got dropped because his new teammates don't like him, Extra retired, and Poppin recently got dropped from Envy. So that begs the question, who is remaining from this original Rankers core that made up the beloved Envy roster that we once knew and treasured? Well, none other than the cracked 17-year-old Ion. This dude has been tearing it up in Tier 2, posting stat lines similar to the one we're going to break down today. Here he posted a 21-8 KD, 4 first bloods in 16 rounds against Alliance Guardians, who, have some names on their roster. GMD, T-Dog, Yearn, they're all like good players. GMD even played for TSM for a while, so these aren't nobodies. Now, Ion has been tearing it up, and today we're going to take a look at some of his gameplay and sort of reminisce back to what he looked like when he still played for Rankers. So what made Envy and Rankers so popular in the first place? Well, the answer to that question is their brain dead and ranked type playstyle. And you're going to see Ion make stupid decisions and plays like this the entire video, starting with pistol round. Now, again, I'm putting these quotes because these plays aren't dumb per se, but they're just unexpected, I guess. You'll see what I mean. Starting with pistol round, Azure Dragon are set up in a 1-3-1. They're going to want to contest mid, and you're going to see Omen come over in a second and help his team do that, while the offense are splitting A in a standard 1-4. So, the round's going to start. The offense are immediately going to knife cat and send out a dark cover smoke to deny any peeks from arches. Now, normally when a smoke like this blooms, you don't want to peek it for obvious reasons, because when you walk out of it, you're exposed to, a giant crossfire from the offense. But when you have an instant get out of jail free card and big balls like Ion, you can do things like this.
Flawless, ADG ready to get kind of down and dirty already.
Waiting for a bit of a dive. It always gets really messy in mid. Speaking over, Duelist popping off right now. This is what you want to see from this roster. Proactivity, some aggression, some chaos in the mix.
Yeah.
So normally when you swing through a smoke, you want to do so with a flash or a recon, or I guess in Azure Dragon's case, a 17-year-old crackhead, right? That's exactly what the defense do here. So you're going to see Waylay jumps or swings through the smoke, right, off of the recon, right? You hear the recon break right here. So like you can't say that this peak was like completely brain dead, right? There was a recon that went off in mid just a second ago. It got broken, so Ion knew where to swing because I'm pretty sure he shot the guy who shot it. Right, but then when he swings, that's when everything goes loose. So he swings out, gets one, teleports away. The offense think they're safe, but they're not. Jet dashes through. She dashes through the bot mid smoke. Omen sends his paranoia out, and it becomes a fustercluck. So Omen swings, Flarson gets one, right? We dash over arches. I think this is really cool. You dash up and over arches and on top of this player's head, and you pinch, what is it? You pinch the cat attacker with Vic. I think this is a pretty cool pinch, something I've never seen before. And yeah, it took a snap of your fingers, and the round turned into a 5v5 into a 5 versus 2. And spoiler alert, Alliance, whatever gaming, don't win this round. And now, like I said, everybody loved Rankers because they made stupid plays, and this is going to be one of them. So the defense are set up in a 2-1-2 where Jet's op is going to patrol mid. Offense are set up to default into mid, break a tripwire, force the defense to commit here before hitting a site, right? Make the sites weaker. Pretty standard sense stuff, nothing too crazy. So the round's going to start. We see early fight for B main, and early fight for mid. That's all honky-dory. The drone tags Jet and forces Jet to back off. So Jet's calling out, Flarson's calling out that there is a lot of pressure happening in mid. So since A is kind of weak and B and mid are kind of heavy, you're going to see Ion rotate over. He's going to rotate over and help Fluorescent. And the offense are going to eventually smoke deep mid with this cam, right? Fluorescent barely misses, and the offense don't want to let it repeak, so they decide to smoke this off. But the defense don't want to give up mid for free, right? They don't want to give up mid for free. So you see Cypher and Sova both turn this way, and then Jet and Waylay are also turned this way. So this is what you want to see out of a double duelist comp. You want to get proactive. You want to like fight. You don't want to just sit around and be stagnant, because your team doesn't have as much stall as like a different comp would, right? Take Waylay out for like a KO or something. You don't have as much stall, right? But the way they fight mid here is an eensy-weensy bit troll.
Back down now. That split's not going to be as easy for AXG.
I like Ion doubling up here, though, hiding in the smoke, so there's no kind of creep play up through pizza.
Look at all the control right now. Riker back to.
So what makes this round different from pistol round is that on pistol we swung through a smoke behind the info of a recon dart. Remember, it landed on this wall. Ion swung through, killed one, got out, right, and then the whole team collapsed. Here, if you look closely, Ion just slow walks actually, and just dies to Riker. And Sacred doesn't even peek that hard too. Now, Fluorescent does get the trade, which is great and all, but we have utility to make this a lot safer, and so that we don't go down 3 to 4, right? Why not have your Sova play in this position, right? Why not have him fall back? Why not have your Cypher fall back to site? Have your Sova play in market, so you could use his Droney Zamboni to clear out mid, and your duelists can walk down and go make a play, right? Based off the info. Or this sounds like a little brain dead, a little crazy. You guys might think I'm stupid for saying this, but you could even Waylay dash. Like Waylay could dash up out of this smoke, right? Gets like some info, and then like dash into market, right? Or dash into pizza, or like dash out, dash in, and then your teammates could peek off of that info, right? Waylay is a duelist initiator hybrid, but in Ion's mind, I think he's just having a little too much fun. So another big reason as to why people loved that old Ranker squad was because they weren't afraid to make plays and step up when their team needed the most. And that's what you're going to see Ion do here. So the defense are set up in a 2-3 where Cypher is going to bait for Waylay, who's going to get close. These three are fighting A, and the offense are just going A. So to do so, they're going to feign a mid default, similar to what we saw on pistol round, right? And the defense are kind of biting. Fluorescent's peeking out. Cat doesn't see anything with the ROP. But when the offense contact through the one way and get close to A main, that's when they start their hit. You see the smoke, you see the drone, you see the paranoia, right? Vic's on his own, right? He's trying to anchor and get one. Fluorescent floods through the smoke. It's pandemonium, right? We're gonna go backstab somehow. Trades go down, and AXG come out on top. It's 2 versus 3. Ion and Sacred are left to clutch up and trying to convert the round for Azure Drake. And it's kind of a big round. Azure Drake should be winning this because Azure Dragon should be winning this because these guys are ecoed. And now, in order to push the defense back and allow the offense more breathing room to set up into the post plant, Killjoy activates her lockdown, which should in theory push the defense back. But watch Ion, right? You watch Ion. He has this full kit. You're going to notice that he actually pops his teleport right at about here, right around here, right around the corner. And he knows that he has like a 6-second window to make a play. So he's walking into heaven. We don't get to see the kill, unfortunately, but he kills Killjoy, teleports away, and dashes out right. And I'm saying right when the lockdown goes off, right? So this makes it a 2 versus 2. Sacred's able to use one of these bodies to activate his neural theft, and this round becomes a lot more winnable for ADG. So they know where they are. Ion's closing in. He's throwing his slow, right? There's a smoke here that the attackers threw to give themselves cover. Ion drops down. He's swinging. Unfortunately, he whiffs, but Sacred's here to finish the job. Sacred tapped the spike. GMD went to go check it. Now it's a 1 versus 1. And Sacred comes out on top, right? He doesn't know if Cypher's swinging right, doesn't know if Cypher's swinging left. And ADG win, and it's all thanks to Ion's heroics. And now you could sit there and watch the old Ranker squad and say, rank swap, monkey, brain dead, blah, blah, blah. That's what the untrained eye might say and think over and over, when in reality, Rankers and Envy and Ion and whoever, they're sometimes more coordinated than some of your favorite tier 1 teams. And that's what you're going to see here. So the defense are set up in a three-person, you could call it a trap, right? And Sova's in a big part of this trap, though, is Sova, who's across the map, where Cypher is going to, I guess, try and play off his strips, try and find some spam kills, right? And the offense are walking right into this trap, right? They have 4 outside of B. They're expecting some form of like fast, tiles crunch or something from the defense. When in reality, that's not the case. So you'll see Ion, he's playing in this position, and what he's going to do from here is he's going to line up a slow in a second. That's going to land in this area, and it's going to combine with Vic's paranoia to create one of the craziest traps I've ever seen. So they hear the drone coming. The offense finally take B main. And they decide to wait it out a little bit, right? They decide to tuck. They're like, wait, they're coming. The offense are coming. Let's just tuck. We'll wait for them to grab the orb. This sounds like a default, not a hit, right? Somebody goes and taps the orb. Somebody taps right here. So we see the slow. We see the paranoia. Then we see a laser from across the map. And the offense are trying to no command it out. But Sova is too far away to do that. Ends up chunking Riker and taking down Wildfire. And let's just replay that because it was sick. Let's just replay that. Orb gets tapped. Paranoia almost goes out. I guess they weren't the KO like canceled that part out, but it doesn't really matter. Because the slow plus spam plus Sova ulti just absolutely eviscerated AXG. And again, that's not something you would expect from a ranked player. And then through the rest of that round, I just want to call out how Ion actually plays pretty passive. So the offense's B hit clearly didn't work, so they need to go find something else, right? Like obviously the defense are going to be stacked over here because there was so much commotion being made. Right. And I'm just gonna go ahead and skip through the round a little bit. The offense, they walk into mid, they walk into cat, right? They get up pretty close to cat, they break a tripwire, right? And they feel like, oh, we've done enough, right? Like Jet throws a cloud burst here, she walks into here, breaks a trip. They're like, oh, we probably spread the defense back out. When in reality they didn't default enough because this spy cam is still holding a pretty deep line on cat. And because this doesn't get broken, the defense are going to stay committed to B. And notice how Ion throughout this entire time lapse plays like logs and stairs and doesn't like peek and like overcommit despite having his teleport active still. Right? He commits to the setup. He recognizes that his Sentinel utility is going to win in this round, not him. And what eventually ends up happening is the offense regroup into B, and I'll just let this play out. It's an absolute blender, right? There's a 3-stack on site. Ion eventually shows himself, swings out from logs, and with like 5 seconds left, it's 2v4, and then he knows he could just swing and do whatever he wants because he's one of the best players in the world. Now, I wish we had some more observers or replays in tier 2 because unfortunately, we're not going to see the kills that Ion gets this round, but I really wish we could have. So the defense are set up in another 1-3-1. Jets posted up on top cat with her op, and Sova is going to spam tiles with his Odin while the offense contact and go A, right? So I am going ahead and going to play the round. And Cypher's anchoring B, Omen stalling on A, but watch. Notice how the knife this time is a little different. Before, we saw the knife go into this cubby, right? And it tags all a cat, most of the tree. But Ion realizes that, hey, this is a little different, and we don't hear anything else across the rest of the map. So maybe with my teleport active, right, my get out of jail free, no strings attached card, I can go ahead and make a play, and make a play he does, because look at this. When do you ever see anybody walk this far down top cat? But not only that, look at what he's going to do. He dashes up and over the alarm bot and absolutely dookies on Killjoy. And now this forces the attackers into a rough position. Do they cancel their hit mid-execute to go clear this guy out who can just I haven't been counting, but maybe he could just teleport away or run away? Like who makes a play like this, right? And I mean, Omen's already committed to side, and we're already trading people out on side. Our teammates are already here. I mean, the defense are already here. So it's like, as the attackers, what do you do? It feels like any decision that AXG make is like a loss, right? So they're trapped on site. Well, I'll go ahead and rewind this a little bit. They're trapped on site, and Ion knows this, so he's going to go ahead and rip his convergent paths right at the attackers. Sova drops back to fight flank, and I think this ult barely tags Sova. And again, we can't see the fight, but you could tell that Ion slows this guy, so he's clearly doing some crazy move attack, and he's clearly like baiting out some shots. Now, unfortunately, it gets put down, but at this point, it doesn't matter. ADG have wildfire surrounded, and it's just GG's. So we're going to see another coordinated play from ADG, but I want to show the beginning of this round first because I think it's cool to see the adjustments that pro teams like to make on the fly. So the defense are going to default again. They're in a 1-2-2, and you're going to see them default mid eventually, while the defense are fighting towards A and anchoring B. Pretty standard stuff, nothing too crazy. The round's going to start. The defense are going to contest A main with a one-way. These two are going to fight it. Now, the offense, they're droning up mid. They're defaulting mid again with the cat smoke, with a drone, right? And earlier in, I guess not their defaults, but do you remember that one round where they decided to default into cat, or like their B hit didn't work, so they decided to go cat and break some Sentinel utility, but they didn't break enough of it, so they ran into a stack previously? Oh, well, look at just how far Riker defaults this time. We see a flash, we see the cloud burst, we see an alarm bot covering the entrance to B. This, my friends, this right here is an aggressive default. If you're running into stacks and you feel like your defaults aren't working, sometimes you need to push your defaults even deeper to make sure that you actually have committed the defense to these areas, right? So here, AXG left no stone unturned and have taken full B main, full mid, and mostly A main. So if there's any Sentinel utility, it must be in Narnia because they can't find it. There is none. So now with all this commotion being made, with all this map control secured, AXG's decision is to eventually A split, right? But unfortunately, in Tree, we have we have Ion in a nasty little cubby angle, and you have, who is this? I don't know the players too well. Again, Vic. Vic is playing in a little trap-ish setup with him. So you're going to see that the attackers, when they show themselves, Vic is going to respond pretty promptly with his paranoia. Paranoia comes in, Ion takes a shot, throws a slow, swings with the paranoia, jiggles a little bit, teleports out, gets a nasty, nasty 3K. This might not look coordinated to you, but let me walk you through this again. So Ian's sitting in this cubby, right? He's waiting for someone to walk into his crosshair. He does. He shoots one. KO's looking at the omen, making noise, right? He gets one. Notice how he doesn't overcommit. He does not overcommit. Look, he goes for the second swing, but instead he stops, throws his slow, right? He throws his slow, but then his omen's probably calling out, I blinded. He's probably realizing that these guys are blinded. The slow pops, right? Not only that, but the slow is like he's peeking as the slow's popping, and this is most likely when the offense, if they are to move and dodge the slow, are to be moving. You know what I'm saying? So odds are T-Dog is moving out of this slow, right? So Ion peeks at the perfect time, catches him, but even the fight that he has on Killjoy and Cat here is coordinated, right? He jiggles a little bit. He takes a few shots. He makes Yearn feel like that Ion is swinging me. He wants Yearn to take that first shot, right? So like obviously Yearn doesn't take the shot, but what Ion is trying to do is make Yearn take that shot because he's slowed, right? So that first bullet fires, it's going to take a while for the second one to get off, right? So that gives Ion a small gap to swing completely safely and take down Yearn. Okay, that was like a 5-second interaction, and I feel like I explained like a billion microsteps in it, right? And then Riker peeks at the spawn. It's a 1 versus 5. I'm telling you, dude, watching this kid is entertaining, especially on Waylay. Now, if you were to play Waylay like Ion or just like a good Waylay in general, you're going to want to take notes to this round. So I skipped a little bit ahead. ADG spent the most of the round so far defaulting into mid, broken alarm bot, and now they've decided to go A since they've spread the defense into a 2-1-2. Pretty standard Ascent fundamentals, right? But that's not the cool part. So the cool part is that when ADG make their way into A, you're going to see Cypher throw this cage. And this cage is important because what it does is it allows Ion to cross. It allows him to cross, right, and get into a prime dash position. So I'm going to try and show you that when Ion crosses and entries with the Owen Paranoia, right, the Owen Paranoia goes out, he dashes up and over into this small cubby. And what this is protection from anyone playing Dice, anyone playing Jenny, and it's just a pretty safe spot to teleport into. Or dash into, I should say. And if you're Grower, you could do the same thing. You could teleport into that spot. So double entry with the jet dash. KO tries leaking out, doesn't realize that Ion is close left, and it is just a beautiful entry. A beautiful entry from ADG. Now, look at the slow too, right? So he knows that GMD is still alive, right? They killed 2, but they know that Omen is still heaven, and he's probably going to make a play since his team is down. So you're going to see Ion in a second. He realizes that once sight's clear, right? He's taking a few pot shots, right? He throws the slow, and when he sees Omen, I think this is a crazy reaction. He immediately ducks into Jenny, so there's no time for GMD to get the kill, and I think it's just well played. And then the rest of the post plant's pretty disciplined. I feel like this isn't something we would see from rankers. I feel like Ion would like jump into heaven or something, or break open the door and try to like go for like a crazy fight or something crazy. But instead he just plays tucked behind Jenny and just chills. Like he just hangs out for the rest of the round. And when AXG try to jump in on him, again, we don't see the replays because tier 2 replays aren't that great. But when they try to jump on him, he ends up bagging 2. So clearly he's hitting some shots. He kills 1 jumping on him, he kills the second jumping on him, and that's the game, ADG. Now, if you want to watch rankers at their best form, check out this video right here, somewhere in my hand area. And if you want to join my watch parties, I watch party tier 2 Valorant all the time live on my Twitch and YouTube. Links in the description.